Hello everyone. In this semester, I'm going to deal with yoga and education paper. Okay. Now, today we're going to see the basic topics, which are the introduction topics in yoga. Okay. So first, let us start with the first topic, which is meaning of yoga. Okay, like where did it come from? What are these? What are its origins that we're going to see? Okay, so first let us see, or let us understand the meaning of yoga. Okay, so according to Panani, a grammarian, describe yoga with two words, which means which are yujvir, and second one is yuja. Okay, so first one is yujvir and second one is yuja. In yujvir, the word yujvir means to attach or to join. Okay, and the second word, which is yuja, which means samadhi or control over the senses. Okay, so as I think that you have already heard about the word samadhi, which means nothing but enlightenment. Okay, or in the direct context, it means control of senses. Okay, so Panani, who's a grammarian, what do you mean by a grammarian? A grammarian is nothing but uh, a person who deals with the grammar of any particular language. Is nothing but is called as a grammarian. Now, Panani is a grammarian in Sanskrit. He described this yoga with two words, yujvir and yuja. Now, yujvir got the simple meaning to attach or join. When it comes to yuja, it means samadhi, and samadhi is related to control of senses, and they did give a direct birth to a concept called chitta vritti nirodha. So when you're listening to the class, try to repeat this concept, uh, chitta vritti nirodha. First, let us understand what are these words so that you'll get to know what is the concept of chitta vritti nirodha. So, chitta is a state of mind described in yoga, okay, by Patanjali, where you see chitta is a state of mind. Okay, now if you jump into the state of minds, there are three different state of minds. Okay, so first one is manas, second one is buddhi, and third state of mind is chitta. Okay, so first let us see what is first state of mind, which is manas. If you see a child's mind, if you see or if you observe a child's mind, it is very tranquil. It will be, the child's mind will be very much at peace. They don't have that angry, jealous, how they're going to defeat someone, or there will be no enemy, no bad person, no good person, nothing. Okay, so this state of mind is termed as manas. Okay, where there is no negative thought process or no negative emotions. Okay, now let us see second type of um, state of mind, which is buddhi. Now, when a child goes to a school, or when a child goes through any type of learning procedure, then he learns something. Okay, so learning something is nothing but who is a bad person, who is a good person, who is a friend of mine, who is an enemy of mine. Okay, whom I have to trust, whom I'm being with a person on a daily basis, whom I cannot trust, who's a stranger. Okay, so on this basis, with gaining of knowledge, the state of gaining of knowledge is nothing but the state of mind, which is buddhi, which is the second state of mind. Okay, now there is a third state of mind, which is chitta, which we see in adults. Okay, in adults, what type of state of mind we see? There will be, you know, a hell of anger, a lot of, jealousy towards the other person. I have to earn more money. Okay, I have to earn more money. I need to have each and everything. I don't bother about the other person, whether I'm cheating on the other person, whether I'm, you know, uh, gaining more money by cheating the other person. So in this, if a person is in this state of mind, then that is nothing but chitta, where you see all the negative emotions or all the negative state of mind entering into one particular person, and that state of mind is nothing but chitta. Now let us see the second word with this, which is vritti, is nothing but, you know, disturbances in the mind. Okay, so disturbances in the mind on a daily basis are nothing but vritti. Okay, so there is no peace, there is no tranquility, there is no calm going life this way. There are always disturbances, up and downs, up and downs, up and downs. Of course, up and downs are very much good for a person, but here vritti is, negative state of mind, thinking about all the negative states, you're going ups and downs in a negative state of mind. Okay, so that is vritti. And nirodha is nothing but removal. Okay, removal is nothing but nirodha. Now if you observe the whole concept of chitta vritti nirodha, which is in simpler form, chitta is a bad state of mind. Okay, and vritti is disturbances with a lot of negative emotions, and nirodha, removal of all this negative state of mind with a lot of disturbances. Okay, is nothing but chitta vritti nirodha, removal of a bad state of mind or negative state of mind. Okay, which has got a lot of disturbances, is nothing but chitta vritti nirodha. So this is the whole concept of yoga, or this is the whole aim, or you can call it as a goal of yoga. Okay, so in this way we can give a meaning of yoga. And not only this, in Sanskrit, in the language Sanskrit, there is a word yuj. Okay, which gives a meaning of, unite. Okay, attach, join, etc. Okay, so this is the actual word. Yoga is derived from the word yuj, which means unite, attach, join, etc. There are many number of, meanings given to that particular word yuj. Okay, so which is derived from which is a Sanskrit word. On a whole together, it eventually led to the word yoga. Okay, now this is uh, learning about the actual word derivation. And not only this, Panani, a grammarian, described yoga into two different forms. Okay, now let us see origin of yoga. Okay, so there are no particular or evidences to tell when it is actually originated. Okay, what is the actual year it is originated? But according to the historians, okay, according to the historians or archaeologists, okay, not archaeologists, according to the historians, they give an overall dates of 16th century to 5th century BCE. Okay, so according to the historians, it belongs to pre-Vedic history. Okay, pre-Vedic history, and they suggest, okay, they're not telling with a with a great accuracy, but they suggest that it belongs around 6th to 5th centuries BCE. Now, if you see, the centuries are coming in a reverse manner. 6th is coming in front and 5th is coming after that. Centuries BCE. BCE is before Common Era. Okay, so this is the extension of BCE. See, always when you see from the first year, we are counting, for example, this is, 2023. From in the first year, from then itself, we are counting on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like that. But previously, whatever the years before, at that time, we count in a reverse manner. So that is why we come with 6th century, 5th century, 4th century, 3rd century, 2nd century, and then 1st millennium. Okay, so here you see 1st millennium. There you enter Common Era. So this is before Common Era. You observe 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The numbers, the century is coming in the reverse manner. Now, if you observe in the Common Era, there will be 1st millennium, then afterwards there will be 2nd millennium, 3rd millennium, 4th millennium. Now, from now on, it will go in the increasing order. Okay. Now, according to the historians, this yoga is origins belongs to 6th or 5th century BCE. BCE extension is before Common Era. Now, Patanjali belongs to the 1st millennium. You can see here, Patanjali belongs to 1st Common Era. Now, in this 1st millennium of Patanjali, whatever the knowledge with the, the old scriptures that are, available to him, he, modified or rewrote, from whatever the scriptures that he took and rewrote Yoga Sutras. Okay. Rewrote the Yoga Sutras, and now you call them as Patanjali Yoga Sutra. So this was written in 1st millennium Common Era. Okay, but if you see, it was a long back, right? If you observe, it is 1st millennium Common Era, which is very long back, but it only got its popularity in 20th century. That means around 1950, 1960, 1970. Then it got more popularity. Okay, so that is about origin of yoga. If you see, many gurus from India try to introduce it to the Western world. Okay, many gurus from India try to introduce it to the Western world only in the late 19th century and early 20th century. Okay, and if you see, to be very precise, in 1980s, to be very specific, Swami Vivekananda on his fiery speech in America, he spoke much words about yoga and everything, and from then onwards, yoga has become very popular in the Western world. To be very specific, in America, as a physical exercise. Now let us discuss about aims and objectives of yoga. Now let us discuss about aims and objectives of yoga. Okay, as you know, if we keep on discussing there will be it will become a plenty of. So, but now as we're going to discuss only very few. Okay, now let us see what do you mean by aims and objectives. Okay, so aims and objectives are fit through yoga. What are we going to aim? Okay, so what are our goals? Okay, to achieve. So that's what is all about the whole meaning of aims and objectives, right? Now, if you see the first first point in that, the aim of traditional yoga is to restore an understanding of a relationship of different limbs of yoga. Okay, so if you see there's a different uh, you need to understand different relationship of different limbs of yoga. Okay, now what are limbs of yoga? Okay, so according to Patanjali, there's a different type of yoga, and someone described yoga in the other forms. Okay, there are many different forms, but actually there are 8 limbs of yoga. Okay, so on an overall acceptancy, there are 8 limbs of yoga. So according to the traditional way of doing yoga is in this 8, you call it as Ashtanga yoga. So with one step after the other, you reach to the last stage of yoga, which is nothing but the samadhi, which is called enlightenment. Okay, becoming one with the universe, having great control over the senses. Okay, so that is the last stage of, or the last limb of yoga. First comes, yama. I'm going to write here. Please check here. Yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. Okay, so these are the 8 limbs of yoga. These are the 8 limbs of yoga. Okay, so this in detail we're going to discuss in the in the next video. Let us give just introduction of it so that you understand how this traditional yoga actually works. Okay, so previously what they used to think is first they need to get into yama. Yama is nothing but following all the social values, morals and ethics, so that if you are into the highest form of yama, then you enter into niyama. So niyama is personal rules. Okay, so all the personal rules, keeping yourself very much hygiene, cleaning your body very on a daily basis. Okay, eating good food. Okay, all this comes into niyama. And the third one is asana, where is nothing but a physical activity. It is a form of physical activity where with the physical activity you will be keeping the physical body hale and healthy. Okay, now after that you come to the fourth limb, okay, which is pranayama. Pranayama is nothing but breathing exercises. Okay. Now next comes pratyahara, which is nothing but control over the senses. Okay. And the next one is dharana, which is nothing but concentration. Okay. So when you do all the before limbs, next you enter into a kind of a concentrated state of mind, and with the concentration on one particular thing, then you enter into dhyana. If you concentrate on one particular thing for a long period of time, and then you reach to dhyana, which is meditation. Okay. And if you keep on meditating for a longer period of time, and then you enter into the last stage of yoga, or the last limb of yoga, which is samadhi, becoming one with the universe. You understand the universe very keenly. Okay. So this is actually the traditional practice of yoga. So this used to be a general aims and objectives of yoga, but as you know, if you see, it's highly impossible to follow or to practice this very traditional yoga. Of course, very few gurus, what we call it as sages, who are in Himalayas, whether we don't know whether they're going to practice it or not, but we can assume that they are practicing this traditional form of yoga. Okay. But now today it is highly impossible to practice all these 8 limbs of yoga. So that is why in this modern world, only asana and pranayama have become popular as a pranayama as a physical exercise, and asana as a physical exercise, and pranayama as breathing exercises. Now, if you see, if you tell everyone, like with all the modern day lifestyle, if you tell someone that I'm practicing very traditional form of yoga, then they'll simply laugh at you. Okay. So the traditional yoga is nothing but practicing all the 8 limbs of yoga. Okay. So that is not at all happening. Okay. What is actually happening in today's world, in today's modern world, is they are practicing asana and pranayama. Okay. Mostly asana, and once in a while, those who are aware of pranayama, then they will be going for pranayama. Okay. So this is about traditional yoga aims and objectives. Okay. Now let us see in this modern world, what are the in general aims and objectives of yoga. If you see the second point, it can be a supplement school and university education to make students physically and mentally strong. Okay. So it is supplement school and university education means, okay, it can become an add-on subject to the students, so that the students, not only the schools, and also from the school level students to the university level students, all can become, with the use of this add-on subject yoga, they can become physically and mentally strong. Okay, so this is one of the major crucial or important aims and objectives of yoga. Okay, by introducing yoga as education, you can from the school level to the university, students can take it as an add-on subject and become physically and mentally strong. And not only that, if you see the third point with yoga or with yoga education, students or any child, any person can become very much self-disciplined. Okay, so if you are a yoga practitioner on a daily basis, that you'll be knowing it, right? While I'm telling it, you'll be knowing it, right? So with yoga practicing on a daily basis, a person can have a great self-discipline. Okay, because while practicing yoga, uh, asana or pranayama, while doing exercise, here if you see asana as isometric exercise. So if you see asana as an isometric exercise, what do you mean by isometric exercise? So isometric exercise is nothing but without any movement. Okay, without any movement. If you're performing any exercise, then that is nothing but isometric exercise. Okay, so asana can be considered as isometric exercise. Now you are in a particular position, in a particular posture, without any movement. If I am if I am practicing tadasana, I do this way. I hold it for a while. I concentrate on my inhalation and exhalation, and then I slowly come back to the normal position. Okay, so now what is happening is you're holding a position for a while, and then you're having control over the inhalation and exhalation. Okay, so if you do this on a daily basis, okay, so automatically that leads to the self-discipline, self-control, the physical control of human body, and not only that, you can control of all of your thoughts. Okay, because you're having control on inhalation and exhalation. Okay, and third one is concentration. You can concentrate, you can increase on concentration, because if you concentrate on inhalation and exhalation for a long period of time, for many days, so that leads to, that gives you concentrating on one particular thing for a longer period of time. Okay, so if you see the next point, enables student to have good health. Okay, so if you are doing asana, which is a physical exercise, and if you're doing pranayama, which are breathing exercises, automatically that contributes to physical health. Okay, so that is what the point is mentioning here. Enables student to have physical and mental good health. Okay, and if you see the next one, mental hygiene. What do you mean by mental hygiene? If you divide the word, there's a word mental and there's a word hygiene. Mental, and let us see what do you mean by the word mental. So mental is nothing but anything that related to mental aspects or thought process. Okay, now if you see hygiene, which means, okay, um, hygiene is being clean, okay, being clean, and okay. So now if you see mental hygiene, now you have to join these two words and then you have to get the meaning of it, okay. Mental is in all the thought process that is running in your mind, okay. If you see, if there are many number of thoughts are running in your mind, or any of the human mind, right? Now if you're performing yoga, if you are into yoga education, then sorry, if mental is many thought process, mentality, or mental is nothing but the thought process. Now hygiene is being clean, okay. Now what is a mental hygiene here? The mental hygiene is, okay, uh, the very hell of a thoughts running in some person's mind, okay. Now if you are going through yoga on a daily basis, if you are doing yoga for many days, okay, what actually happens is, okay, there is a filtration of these thoughts in your mind. What do you mean by filtration of thoughts? Okay, so you will have only the thoughts which are required in that particular situation, okay. You will not have any of the clumsy thoughts running in your mind, because you're performing yoga on a daily basis, or you have great knowledge of yoga education. So then what happens? You don't have a uh, you know bad thoughts, or unwanted thoughts. To be very precise, unwanted thoughts will not be running in your mind. Whatever the thoughts which are required, those only will be running in your mind. And this is nothing but mental hygiene, okay. Having the wanted thoughts in the brain is nothing but mental hygiene. So this is possible with yoga, okay. Practicing a yoga on a daily basis, and not only that, having great knowledge of yoga education, so that leads to mental hygiene. Now next comes emotional stability. As you see, in this modern world, there are many different hell of uh, diseases leading to you know very different emotions within a very short time, okay. Okay, so because of a lot of many other different lifestyle diseases, there is a bit in very emotional instability in this society right now. Okay, so that is because of many different types of diseases that they are facing, the lifestyle diseases that they're facing. Okay, so now if you practice yoga on a daily basis, okay, you see much emotional stability. What do you mean by emotional stability? There will be a great clarity of emotions to that particular person. Okay, there will not be mm, okay. Sorry, this is emotional instability. So this is emotional instability. Okay, so emotional instability is having many emotions, being sad very fast, being happy very fast, okay, being angry very fast. So all these emotions will be in a very short span of time, okay. So this is considered as emotional instability. Now this is being seen mostly in today's society, with many of the people, right? So now, if someone is into yoga or yoga education, now they'll be learning how to control their emotions. Okay, so by doing asanas or pranayama, they'll have a great control of their emotions that comes with the practice of yoga, or that comes with the knowledge of yoga education. Okay, so then it reaches to the emotional stability. Now you need to understand the difference between emotional instability and emotional stability. So emotional instability is having great thoughts, sorry, having great different types of emotions in a single, in a very short period of time, which is very much dangerous for the physical body and also for the mental aspect of a human being. Okay, so this is achieved, mental stability is achieved with yoga and yoga education. Okay, now let us see higher, the last one, which is higher level of consciousness. Okay, consciousness is a state of mind. Let us understand the word consciousness is a state of mind where whatever the thoughts, or whatever the physical actions, or whatever the emotional actions that we do show are very much in control of our mind, or our brain. Okay, so the physical body, the and also the mental uh, aspect of um, things, both are in control of our you know brain. Okay, then you call it as, then you call that person is very much conscious. He knows what he is doing. Okay, simply he will not come to a conclusion just like that. Okay, so that is nothing but being conscious. So being conscious is having great clarity of mind. Okay, having great clarity of mind, and then having a great clarity of physical actions. He knows what he is doing. He knows what he is thinking. Okay, with that thought process, he knows how to act. Okay, so this is nothing but a great, a person being at a great consciousness. Okay, now higher level of consciousness. Now, with the practice of yoga and with the great knowledge of yoga education, a person reaches to higher level of consciousness. That means with the regular practice of yoga and with the great knowledge of yoga education, that person will have a great conscious, or will have a great clarity of what to do and what to think of, what are the positives to think, okay, what are the negatives to keep aside. Okay, so that clarity will will be bringing up into that particular person, if he is into yoga practice, or if he is into yoga education. Okay, so this is an overall a picture of aims and objectives. Okay, now with this we are ending with the video. In the next class, we'll discuss the next topic in the same unit.